Hi. Hello. Today I want to talk about why your birth chart matters. Why does a birth chart matter? Isn't that just some pseudoscience that people toss around to fortune tell things to each other and it doesn't really matter, right? How could a birth chart possibly have any significance? Isn't it our DNA and our genetics that make us who we are? Let me explain it like this. When you leave your mother for the first time ever, that moment when you leave your mother and you're a little baby born into the world for the first time, that moment where you have left the safety of your mother's womb, you are now being exposed to the outside world and the outside energy of the world for the first time ever. So when you leave your mother's womb, you are the most sensitive you will ever be in that moment. A newborn baby that has just come out of his mother's womb is in a state of complete and utter vulnerability. The most amount of vulnerability that baby will ever be in. See, as we get older, the outside world affects us less. We build that masculine hard shell, right? This is why masculinity is associated with age, because you build that shell of toughness. You build that outside wall that stops things out there affecting you. But when you're a little baby, you're in your most vulnerable, most feminine, most sensitive state. And so what happens is, where the sun is, where the moon is, where the planets are, these important celestial bodies have their own energy frequency that they're always pulsing out, right? And that's obvious to us from looking at the sun and the moon, right? Very obviously, the day feels totally different energetically than the night because the sun is here and it's bright and all of this. And then when it's night, it feels totally different, right? The night obviously feels very different from the day. And so above our heads, we have these celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, the planets, and the important stars that they move through. And all of those light points beam a certain energy and a certain frequency down onto Earth all of the time. And so that moment, when you leave your mother's womb for the first time, you are experiencing the outside force of where the sun is, where the moon is, where all those planets are, where the constellations are, at your most sensitive point. And so those star light energies are pulling and pushing and influencing you for the first time. And so they are leaving this energetic fingerprint on you because that's your most vulnerable position. And then from that point forward, as you get older and older and older, it has less of an impact. And so while DNA and genetics absolutely does form a lot of the biological compounds that we are also beings of energy, beings of divine light. And our light bodies, our energy bodies, are pulled and influenced and moved in that extremely vulnerable first day, first moment of life when we come out of our mother for the first time. So everything that happens in that day, everything that happens in that moment is going to be extremely significant for that child. And it is going to be formative to their personality, to their body, and even to their divine path. That is why a birth chart matters.